Good morning and welcome to Missoula Real Estate Today. This is Denny Bedard. Missoula Real Estate Today is presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Diane's been working with buyers and sellers in the Missoula market for over 25 years and shares her insights on the local housing market. Along with her trusted partners, Diane provides complete service for your real estate transaction and brings us guests who provide useful information on industry-related topics and trends. And now, Missoula Real Estate Today on News Talk, KGVO. Good morning. We appreciate you being a part of Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck. Hope your weekend is going good. Our guest this week on the program, Kelsey Parke. Kelsey owns Cloth and Basket, interior decorating, home organizing, personal styling, occupied home staging. That's not as scary as it sounds. We'll get to that later in the program. Kelsey, welcome. Your first time, right?
Yes, it is, Denny. Thanks for having me, and thanks to Diane as well.
Yes, ma'am. Pleasure to have you. A little bit about your background. What led you to pursue a career in interior decorating, wardrobe, and beyond?
Yes. So initially, it all started as a hobby that I had passion for and found joy in. So organizing my own wardrobe, staging my home, redecorating my home, which then led to friends asking if I could help them going through their closet, decluttering their spaces.
Wait, now, was this, hey, can you do me a favor?
Yeah, at this point, it was a lot of favors. Okay. A lot of favors at this point. Right. And then, it did get to the point where it was, you know what, Kelsey, this could be a service. These are things that people crave and desire, and you have the ability to give them that. So then we got Cloth and Basket up and running.
Excellent. Well, you're on Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck at Windermere. What's your relationship? How did you get to know the Diane Beck team and get involved there?
Yeah, so one of the workers with Diane Beck, Becky, actually reached out to me and was like, Kels, oh my goodness, you do home staging. I did not know this. What's that like? Can we have you on the show? And I said, absolutely. I'd love to partner with you and your team.
Why Cloth and Basket? Why did that name speak to you?
Yeah, so Cloth and Basket is two-part. Mm-hmm. The cloth stands for the personal styling concept, instilling confidence in people's natural beauty by creating wardrobes that make them look and feel their best. Whereas Basket entails the other three parts, so the interior decorating, the home organizing, and the home staging. Baskets often help organize items, and they're pretty cute to stage and set the stage with.
How did you recognize the need for both Cloth and Basket? What was the process that made you confident that there was a demand for what you had to offer?
Yeah, so not only was it the personal experience with friends and family members demanding this of me as a favor, but I, by trade, am an LCPC, and that stands for Licensed Clinical Professional Counselor. So as a counselor, I work in an office setting, helping others attain a state of well-being, which I feel like as the human population, we all crave and desire to function within a state of well-being. So I was helping these clients attain this emotional well-being and realized the need grew beyond that. So people wanted actual help doing the things we had talked about. People wanted me to come alongside of them and help them create better wardrobes, cleaner houses, more functioning offices. So my main mantra as a counselor that has incorporated into Cloth and Basket is I want to create joy where you are, helping you balance the dialect between accepting where you are and changing to be where you want to become.
That's an interesting transition from one career to the other. Did you ever see that coming?
I think everyone else saw it coming.
Yeah.
I think I was a little blind to it. I just liked helping out friends, but it's been a really great transition so far and been so fun doing Cloth and Basket works.
This is Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate, and our guest, Kelsey Parke, the owner of Cloth and Basket here in Missoula. Let's start with the interior design services you offer, Kelsey. What's one or more misconceptions about what it is you're trying to help people accomplish?
Yeah, so one misconception is if a client is unhappy with the space they're currently in, one misconception is I have to spend a ton of money to redesign and redecorate a space that I like. One thing that we can do to counterbalance that is I often start with the items that the client currently has. We go through, let's say, a living room. We declutter the items. I will rearrange and reset the items in their space, and it achieves a level of novelty and freshness that without spending money gives them an update that they crave.
That's kind of an aha moment for your client, isn't it? I mean, it's something in their mind that, wow, I could have done that, but that never would have occurred to me.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up. I find that working with clients, the 3 reasons why they hire me is because they either A, lack the decorating eye, so they don't have the ability to see things that way, or even if they have the ability to see it, they don't have the desire to do it. I don't want to rearrange my front room. I don't want to clean out my closet. And lastly, which is the most popular, even if you have the desire, you have the ability to do it, you don't have the time. So I work a lot with moms, with families who don't have the time to do it, and then I come alongside and accomplish it.
And I would assume, too, though, lots of your clients probably already have a vision, at least, and they're looking to you to help nurture that vision.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, most of my clients fall along the spectrum. And on the left side, there are the clients that say, come to me, hey, I have this vision. I need you to order supplies, to implement it, to rearrange it, and create my vision to fruition. And then if you slide all the way to the right side, Denny, we've got some clients that come to me and say, I don't like this living room. Make it different.
Yeah.
And then through consultation, I figure out some of their interests and help them identify their own interests and then give them a product they love.
Interior decorating, 2 major categories in my mind. One, I just want to refresh, like we've been talking about a little bit here. I think things look a little outdated, but I don't want to. I don't really have a big budget. I don't want to spend a lot of money on a complete overhaul. Where does your evaluation process begin?
Mm-hmm. So I find it really important to work with my client's vision and within their budget. Those are 2 things that I really value. So my process begins with the consultation. And I have a series of questions that I get to understand the client's needs, desires, and their ability to either help with the process financially or physically. And I assess all of those pieces as a starting point.
Probably decluttering, I would imagine, enters
Yeah.
comes into play there.
Yeah. So for instance, if we're doing a closet, if somebody wants to redecorate or organize a closet, I will ask them, are you simply hoping that I come in and reorganize so you have function and flow? Or are you willing to get rid of some stuff? Are you able to bite the bullet and say 10% of my closet or whatever that looks like? And then I help them navigate and accomplish that goal.
And then you kind of subdivide that category. Says, well, just because I'm recommending that you remove it from this space, I'm not saying necessarily get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you might have to recommend a storage garage or maybe there's a basement, things like that. You're not necessarily saying let's unload this stuff, get the ad in for the rummage sale right now, so I can do my job. It's not like that, but you're trying to at least establish a better sense of space in a specific room. You mentioned, let's start with the living room, for example.
Yes.
And just trying to build on that, right?
Right. And there are different things we can do with items that they don't want in the living room. So like you said, we can box something up and we can label it and say, this is nostalgia items that I'm going to put in the attic. I don't need them now, but I want to hold on to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Section 1. Section 2, you know what? This stuff is really great and I want somebody else to benefit from it. So we find a donation spot that we can give it to. We can recycle items. We can even sell items. And then lastly, if there's what I'm going to call garbage for sake of garbage, then we get rid of it.
Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate and our guest Kelsey Parke with Cloth and Basket, the owner of Cloth and Basket here in Missoula. Interior decorating, home organizing, personal styling, occupied home staging. Then, Kelsey, there's the complete, more drastic update where I would imagine clients have to really... They really have to buy into your advice and visions, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and they have, which is awesome.
You sound surprised.
Well, I love that they put a lot of trust in me. I think that says a lot. But for instance, I have an example where I was redoing a living room recently, and the client didn't really know what she wanted for her vision and really put her trust in me to create what she wanted. with alongside of that, when we got rid of the items that she no longer cared for, we helped sell the items. So I even listed the items, met with potential buyers so that that item was totally gone for her, is one thing that I think is really important, tying up loose ends. Because as people get rid of clothes or items, if I just put them in a bag and leave them in the front room, Denny, do you know where they're going to stay for the next couple of weeks?
I'm going to leave mine in the front room.
Yeah, or maybe the trunk of the car, right?
Yeah.
So,
Kelsey, I'll get to those.
So that's one thing that we want to incorporate is that we will do from beginning to end removing of the items they don't want.
When you do that, what's the typical client like? Are they kind of looking over your shoulder and there step by step, or do they kind of try to avoid seeing what you have done as much as possible so they can have that, hopefully, fingers crossed, oh wow moment?
Yeah.
What are clients like in that process? I mean, I got to assume there's a lot of looking over your shoulder when you're working.
You know, you'd be surprised. Obviously, everyone's different, and that's one of the questions I ask when I do a consultation. How involved do you want to be in the process?
Yeah, good question.
But what I have found is people who want a new up face or a facelift, not an up face, if they want that, they're willing to walk away and entrust me to get the products and to set it up, and they come back and they have that. Oh my goodness, I feel so comfortable. I love being in my home or in my office.
You talked about being a little bit nervous coming on a radio show. You've got to be, I mean, your heart's got to be going boom, 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 boom when that happens because, you know, you're, all right, let me just throw it out there. What if they don't like it?
What if they don't like it? Great question. So as part of our process, we always have a follow-up. So I'm checking in about a week later to say, hey, it's been a week. How's the function of your new kitchen? Okay. What have you noticed that doesn't flow? Can I come in and complimentary adjust it for you? So that's about a week after. And in that moment, too, I feel like one of the things that makes this successful is incorporating my counselor-esque presence and being open to feedback and being open to somebody's ideas and meeting them there and making those adjustments.
What's the get acquainted process like between you and a client? If you don't already know them fairly well, you absolutely have to establish a level of trust.
Yes, absolutely. So just yesterday, actually, I got an email from somebody from my website that said, hey, I'm moving. I've got this new place. Can you come be there when the movers come in and set it up for me? I heard from a friend that you're providing this service.
Wow.
So this is a great client. I'm so excited to work with them, but there is a level of creating relationship and that interpersonal connection. And that starts with either an email or a phone call. And then that consultation piece to say, here's who I am. Here's how I work. Is this a service that you want to engage in? And how do we move forward?
I would think you have to be rather tactful and diplomatic at times, especially when you've been asked to refresh or update existing spaces. You don't want to hurt feelings, but my dog's playing poker painting probably has to go.
Yes.
How do you handle that?
So in addition to my master's in counseling, I also have a degree in communication, which I pride myself on because clients want to be heard. So I think there's such an easy, tactful, graceful way to communicate. Here's what I'm hearing you say you want, and here's maybe a roadblock that might prevent us from getting there. Here are some problem solutions. Here's some ways to solve that. Which of these best fits you now? And just having a conversation throughout the process of how am I hearing you? How am I listening to you to give you the product that you need?
Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate, and our guest, Kelsey Parke, owner of Cloth and Basket here in Missoula. Okay, Kelsey, since we're on a real estate program, let's dive into this service that you offer. Staging an occupied home is the term you use. What does that mean, and how does that benefit both the seller and the realtor?
Yes, excellent. So an occupied home is when the seller is currently living and functioning in that home, which a lot of real estate is. So what this means is we would come in and stage the home. So the whole purpose of home staging, by definition, Denny, is the act of preparing and showcasing a house so that it can sell quickly for top dollar by attracting the largest pool of perspectives.
Okay.
So a couple of ways that we do that. We have 2 consultations. The first is a walk and talk consultation.
Yeah.
So this means that we are physically going into the home, working with the client and with the real estate agent if they want to be there, and giving them a verbal guidance. So this guidance serves as a roadmap for the home sellers so that they themselves can prepare their occupied home to go on the market.
Optional for the realtor, wouldn't it be? Well, it would have to be pretty important for the realtor to know what you have discussed and determined, right?
Yes.
If the realtor is not there, I would think it falls on you, presumably, to get back to the realtor and say, okay, this is what we discussed. Maybe you have to send some pictures, but it sounds to me like a 3-legged stool. That realtor should probably be involved in there somewhere.
Yes, and I would love it if all the realtors would be involved because I think that creates the team effect. Right. So I do know that some realtors are under the impression of, I just want to sell the house. I don't physically have the time to help my client stage their home. That's why I'm partnering with Cloth and Basket to accomplish that task.
So we do the walk and talk consultation. Now you have to do a staging report, pretty detailed, pretty thorough.
Yes, so that's the other option of a consultation. So if I'm not with you, audibly giving you the guidance, then we have the staging report and action plan. So this is a written assessment, a staging to-do checklist, if you will, for the client to complete. And you might be thinking, whoa, how motivated is this client to do this? Well, Here's what I have to say. With the 2 consultation packages, the walk and talk and the staging report, these are for clients that are your DIY clients. They have time, they have excitement, they have the resources to do it, and they're type A and want to get their to-do list done.
My guess is that those types of clients are probably ahead of the game. Am I right about
Yes.
that? You probably have a little bit shorter action plan with a client like that, but that's probably not a huge percentage of the prospective sellers.
Yes. So that's why those first 2 services are catered to that smaller percentage of sellers.
Okay.
What I feel like presents to a larger percentage of occupied sellers is what we're calling the staging package. So after the consultation, after we meet with the client in the real estate, then we, Cloth and Basket, come in and we do all the heavy lifting. We're reinventing the space by decluttering, depersonalizing, reorganizing, and arranging this seller's house to create that desirable look for potential buyers.
So what are some of the things you're looking for? You've done this long enough now, and you obviously have a trained eye for this kind of thing, that you're probably doing detective work, as it were. What are some of the key things that you're looking for, you, Kelsey, as Cloth and Basket, that you're looking for, that you say to the seller and or realtor, this is what prospective buyers are going to notice?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm taking into account trends. I'm starting from the outside, that curb appeal, and we're going to the inside. So with occupied home staging, the most powerful thing is to help that buyer get their stuff out. So we love the dog poker painting. We love grandma's china, this cute photo of my baby 25 years ago. And with tact and with grace, we help them decide what items need to pack, which ones we need to put away, which ones we need to keep out and display, as well as some other helpful tips such as, how do we organize your closet? How are we going to arrange your furniture? This wall needs to be updated. What are some other small updates, paint colors, adjustments to lighting, and maybe even some shopping suggestions for a couple of new pieces?
I'm telling you, Kelsey, if you look at those dogs playing poker paintings long enough, you will see something new and funny every single time.
You know, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I didn't see you jot that down, but fine. This is Kelsey Parke, owner of Cloth and Basket on Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Kelsey, do you have any recent success stories that you'd like to share, or something you've been especially proud of?
Yeah. So recently, about a month ago, I met with a client, And it was pretty cute. It's somebody that I had known but had written me via my work email saying, "Hello, Kelsey. I'd love to establish a professional relationship with you." And I thought that was so great how they approached that. And what I loved about this project is I came into the space, we met for our consultation, identified what pieces are really important for you. This is a living room, might I add.
Okay.
And then identified the issues with the room. So it feels too cluttered. It feels too dark. It feels too crowded. And then this client said, "Okay, here's my budget. Make it happen." So we redid the living room. I enlisted my husband, which is my number one fan.
Okay.
He's the muscles of Cloth and Basket.
Should be the number one fan.
Yes. So then we gave this client a product that she really loved. And then a couple days later, I wrote the email to check in. How are things going? Do you need adjustments? And she said, "Everything's great. Let's do the dining room now." So it's fun when you have clients that are recurring because they get a product they love and they are continued to be motivated to make changes in their homes so that they're getting the best product that they want.
I forgot to ask this question. I should have asked this before I asked about success stories, but let me back up just a few minutes, going back to staging an occupied home. And you do your preliminary walkthrough and recommendations and whatnot. The length of the whole process typically. I mean, how long is a job for you as a rule?
Okay, so if it's doing one of the consultations, the walk and talk or the staging report, that is about an hour or so doing the actual work with the client in the house. And then if I'm doing an action report plan afterwards, that's a couple hours of typing it up and detailing it so that they can understand what I'm trying to convey.
Okay.
If we jump into the staging package where we're actually coming in and doing that staging to-do list, that can take anywhere from 4 hours to 2 days, and depending on how big the house is and how many rooms they want staged.
All right. So, yeah, obviously it fluctuates a lot.
Yeah.
It floats.
So the time that it takes to complete that, as well as the price, all depends on how big the house is, how many rooms, the listing price, location, etc.
Gotcha. This is Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate, and our guest, Kelsey Parke, owner of Cloth and Basket, interior decorating, home organizing, personal styling, occupied home staging. That's a big business card there with all of that material on it. Also want to say thank you to some of Diane's marketing partners that helped bring you Missoula Real Estate Today. Rob Fleming with Man Mortgage, Miles Link of Opportunity Bank of Montana, and Carol Blodgett from MakeItMissoula.com. In our final few minutes here, Kelsey, if I may, let's kind of move on to the personal styling part of everything you do. Fashion consultation and wardrobe organizing and updating. Now, that sounds pretty cool and fun, because, hey, we get to go shopping. But it's probably kind of stressful, too. And when someone reaches out to you for those services, where do you start with that?
Yeah, great question. So we always start with the consultation so I can hear what the client's wanting and then figure out which of our different services meet that. So when we're talking about personal styling, this could be anywhere from, hey, my closet is so chaotic. I open it and I say, ugh, I have nothing to wear, right? So we could simply just declutter and reorganize it. Mm-hmm. Personal styling also can mean finding outfits that fit that person's individual style. So actually looking at their body shape, their colors, the style, the trends that fit them, and creating outfits from their wardrobe that are ready to go out the door eliminates the stress of it.
Probably lifestyle too, huh? You're
Yep.
a career person, professional person, or you're an outdoorsy, all of that enters in too, huh?
Absolutely. So we're taking into all of that account when we're creating wardrobes. So sometimes clients just have me work within the items they already have, and they don't want to spend money. Other times, client says, I've got this event coming up. I started this new job. I'm moving to this new location. Help me find wardrobes. Take me shopping so that I can find pieces that best fit my lifestyle, budget, and style.
Do you like that facet of what you do?
I do, yeah. I like all 4 facets of Cloth and Basket. I get probably an equal amount of each right now.
Seriously?
Yep. And as the year goes on, I plan to niche down on the ones that Missoula needs most. So right now it's, I'm fielding all the pop flies at this point.
Yeah. And a lot of those pop flies with the housing market, such as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I would think the gang at Windermere are probably pretty good people to know because things are so active right now. It is a seller's market, but at the same time, we had Becky Peterson on last week from Diane's Windermere Real Estate team, and every time we've had either her or Diane on the show, there's a recurring theme, and it's a seller's market, but that doesn't mean you just say, come by my house. You've still got to have the curb appeal. You've still got to have the interior, there got to be some eye candy in there because it's not just going to sell, at least at the price you're asking, because we all know how that works, is that you're typically going to ask on the high end to sell your home, and that's when a lot of what you do at Cloth and Basket probably enters in, doesn't it? Because it isn't quite that simple.
Right. And we know that over 90% of people who are looking for houses are looking online. So that means the pictures that they see are really impactful. So something I should have added is when we do the staging, we do that before it's listed. So we get the house up and running so that it's photography ready. Mm-hmm. So when you take photos of it and put it on MLS, you're presenting the best product of your home.
And you don't, obviously I'm not going to ask you to mention any names or locations or anything like that, but have you walked into a house where it's just like, hey, boy, where do I begin here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. People live different lifestyles. So some are easier for me to jump right in and organize, and some I really have to work with the client to say, where are your values? What do you find important? Because if we need to put this house to a point where it's ready to sell, we have a lot of work to do. Are you willing to do the work with me?
Got to buy in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate, and our guest is Kelsey Parke, owner of Cloth and Basket here in Missoula. Final couple minutes here, Kelsey, believe it or not, but we can't let you go without. First off, did I miss anything? Is there anything else that you wanted to add to what we've been talking about?
Just the last component with occupied home staging is a styling package. So that's after the home has already been staged and the people are living in it. It gets a little bit messy. You've got a showing coming up. The realtor can have a styling package, which is a quick spruce up before an open house or a showing.
All right. How do we find you? What is all your contact information, and how do we get a hold of you and everything like that?
Yes. Well, I hope you have a lot of ink in your pen because my website is long.
I figured. Yeah.
So it's Cloth and Basket, Wixsite, WIXSITE.com/website.
Okay.
You can also reach me on email, which is clothandbasket@gmail.com. Or I've got a phone number here in Missoula, 406-581-4036. And
one last thing about when we, I'm getting kind of disjointed here, but when I was asking about some of the fashion consultation, you mentioned how much of that you're doing at this point. Why would someone contact you about that? I don't want to suggest low self-esteem or anything like that, or lack of confidence. Mm-hmm. You say a lot of times it's just a time issue, and that's probably a great answer right there. But what are some of the things that clients are telling you? Here's why I contacted you.
Yeah, so some reason they contact me is maybe they're unable to figure out what their style is. They're trying to follow the trends, and they put on something that's cute in the magazine and say, this doesn't make me feel good about myself. I don't love it in this.
Yeah.
So I help them identify their wardrobe based on who they are and help match that to them. Sometimes they just need help identifying it.
Kelsey Parke with Cloth and Basket here in Missoula on Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. You did an awesome job.
Oh, thank you. It's so fun to be here.
Thank you for listening to Missoula Real Estate Today. We hope you found this morning's information to be helpful. If you have any suggested topics for any future Missoula Real Estate Today programs, or any questions about buying or selling, contact Diane Beck with Windermere Real Estate. Email dianebeck@realtor.com or visit her website, homesinmissoula.com. That's homesinmissoula.com. We'll see you next time on Missoula Real Estate Today.